She's just an unbelievably ignorant, disgusting, elitist, East Coast type Democrat, absolute trash human being.
Mr. Reagan.
Now, spring is here, and what do we do in spring? Spring cleaning. The mower needs to be sorted, the garden looks a little bit wrecked, and the barbecue needs some work. You might enjoy doing these jobs, but if you don't, or you can't, you're going to need to pay somebody else, and that takes a bit of money. And let's face it, putting money aside for comfortable retirement is the only way that you're going to get out of doing the lawn yourself, right? And if you got a little bit of money saved up in the bank, well, that way you can visit the kids, you can hike the trail, you can play golf, all the things that your friends are doing. And Noble Gold can help with this by investing in precious metals along with your other investments. A gold or silver IRA is a great way of doing this. And this month, Noble Gold is gifting a genuine rare Carson City minted Morgan silver dollar with every qualifying IRA or 401k that you invest with. And this thing is fantastic. I mean, even just the case, I love this thing. See, because I actually really love old coins and stuff like that. And it's absolutely beautiful. I looked it up, and these things are a nice little chunk of change, and it's genuinely old. I mean, apparently these things were distributed in the 70s. They were obviously minted in the 19th century. In 1964, after a century in obscurity in the vaults. So these were in like the vaults. And so in the 1960s, they were like, okay, let's go ahead and distribute these. And I think the initial offering was like $15, and all these collectors bought them up. But yeah, now that you can get one in this nifty case, I mean, this thing, it's beautiful. It really is sort of like an old-fashioned thing that you can have, and it reminds you of better days in America when everybody wasn't so woke and crazy. People say that, oh, if you're nostalgic for the old times, you're nostalgic for oppression. No. If you're nostalgic for the old times, you're nostalgic for a time in America where people respected things like morality and ethics and not like wokeness and horrible things like that. But when people they actually had a sense of integrity. And I think people long for those days. All right, so if you want one of these Carson City coins and you want to invest in an IRA or a 401k, get in touch with the experts at noblegoldinvestments.com or call 877-646-5347 and talk to the experts now. That's 877-646-5347, or you can go to the website noblegoldinvestments.com or click the link in the description below. All right, let's have a look here. So it says, well, I'm not going to read this article. Well, I'll read a bit of it, but maybe I will, maybe I won't. I haven't decided. But let's just watch this, because what she has to say here is, I mean, it's basically like stereotyping any group. It's the most... I don't know how you could be ignorant of other white people when you yourself are white, but she's just an unbelievably ignorant, disgusting, elitist, East Coast type Democrat, just absolute trash human being. And let's see why. Okay, here.
Also investing $3 billion to states and community-based organizations to strengthen vaccine confidence in the highest risk and hardest hit communities. And often people think of that as just black and brown communities, and that is not. As you've noted, that is also conservative communities, white evangelicals. It's a range of communities around the country. What we found to be most effective is to work with these local organizations. So faith-based organizations, community health organizations, civic leaders, and others who can really get this message deeply in communities. We've also had a number of our members of our COVID team, from Dr. Fauci and Dr. Collins, participate in a range of media interviews. An example is Dr. Collins participated in the 700 Club. Dr. Nunez-Smith hosted a faith leaders roundtable. We're also we've run PSAs on the deadliest catch. We're engaged with NASCAR and Country Music TV. We're looking for a range of creative ways to get directly connected to white conservative communities. We won't always be the best messengers, but we're still trying to meet people where they are, but also empower local organizations.
And it's cracked me up. Okay. It cracked me up, but it was also somewhat offensive. I mean, she's like, we're putting ads on Deadliest Catch to reach conservative Americans. We're going to NASCAR. I'm surprised she didn't say something about like wrestling. We're hitting up country music, trying to spread it through country music. Now, look, my brothers listen to country music. I didn't grow up on country music. Well, neither did they actually, but they married girls who love country music, so they listen to country music now. A lot of conservatives I know, a lot of my good friends, they love country music. NASCAR, nothing wrong with NASCAR. It's a fantastic event. I guess sport. And you have what was the other thing that they said? Deadliest Catch. Deadliest Catch, great show, been on the air for like a gazillion years. Who doesn't like Deadliest Catch? But I feel like her putting those three things together and being like, this is how we're trying to reach conservative Americans. That's their plan. It's essentially, it's like, to me, it's like the equivalent of saying, well, in order to reach black Americans, we've slapped a lot of notices on watermelons throughout grocery stores throughout the country. On every grocery store, we've gone to the watermelon section and put these announcements on the watermelon so that black people see it. We've gone to Kentucky Fried Chicken. We put posters up at Kentucky Fried Chicken, so black people should be able to see those there. We know black people like the Kentucky Fried Chicken. I feel like that's what it feels like to me. It feels like she's kind of decided that, okay, this is what conservative America is. It's this particular, and to me that is the same kind of bigotry, that you would get with like racial bigotry against black people. Are you serious? No, go away. Don't you see I'm working? I think he knows. I think he knows. I think he knows we're doing a show, and he's just being annoying. Yeah, so I mean, here's the problem with this kind of ignorance, I guess you would call it. It's not so much that Jen Psaki doesn't think, that conservatives are a nuanced group with a variety of interests. Whatever. She's an idiot. She can think whatever she wants. The problem is that they are designing policy clearly with these ideas in mind. These are officials in the federal government who see conservatives as this kind of like simple group with simple interests, and they think that they've got us figured out, and they have no idea what the hell they're talking about. Like, do they not realize that half the country is conservative? I mean, doctors, lawyers, yeah, certainly a lot of people who are in, say, construction workers or truckers, or but then you have people who are like journalists. You have librarians, I'm sure, mothers, fathers. You have people of every kind of profession, scientists. You have people of every kind of profession. You have people of every kind of, every type of person. You have gay conservatives. You have black conservatives. You have Hispanic conservatives. You have Muslim conservatives. It's the Democrats seem to think that they are this, intellectually elite, brilliant group, and that the rest of us are just these basically dumb hicks, right? That conservatives are just dumb hicks. And I think this is a massive problem. It's just a complete lack of respect of Republicans, a lack of respect of conservatives. And you cannot create policy for Americans if you don't understand them. You can't create policy for Americans if you don't understand them. You have to some degree, do you want to fix your lighting there? I think it's going to get messed up. You have to some degree at least make an effort to understand the people that you're trying to make policy for. And if you don't understand them, and on top of that, if you don't respect them, I don't see how you could possibly make effective political strategy to help those people improve their quality of life, to create an America in which they are welcome. There's all this rhetoric in the Biden White House of unity. We need unity. But I think their idea of unity is like Democrat geniuses and Republican hillbillies living together under, the brilliant rule of the, genius Democrats. Like all these dumb hicks just obeying the mighty Democrats and their brilliance. And I think that this kind of exposes that. You're looking at me like you're either super tired or super bored with the conversation.
I just don't know what to say.
No, when I brought this up to you, you didn't know what Deadliest Catch was.
No, I didn't.
You didn't know what
I still
NASCAR
don't know.
was. Deadly Catch is a TV show. NASCAR's a sport. It's race cars.
I realized that.
NASCAR's a sport. Race cars. You know race cars.
Yes, I
But
do.
you have Formula One in Europe mostly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And what was the other one? Oh, country music.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me explain country music to you.
I know what country music is.
I'm just teasing you there. All right. Yeah. So Valeria can't say much about this because she's not even aware of really any Anyway, the point is she's basically treating white people like racists treat black people, or she's treating Republicans like racists treat black people.
We're at war with the most dangerous enemy that has ever faced mankind in his long climb from the swamp to the stars. And it's been said if we lose that war, and in so doing lose this way of freedom of ours, history will record with the greatest astonishment that those who had the most to lose did the least to prevent its happening.